Hello everyone, this is Kalyan Kumar this side, and today I'm going to bring you a new video, and this video is very different from the videos that I've done before. Before I've done videos on chemistry, chemical reactions, because I'm a chemistry teacher by the way, and I've done videos on my music compositions, and today is the first time that I'm going to do a video on a product. It's a product review. And I've been using this product for about 2.5 months. So been used to it quite a while, and I'm able to understand what works and what doesn't work. And today I'm going to review a product which is right behind me. This is the LeEco Super3 X65 TV. Now, the most interesting part about this TV, let's talk about that, and we'll talk about the pros and the cons of this particular TV, what works and what doesn't work. First, let's talk about the pros now. In the pros, the first thing that I would like to talk about is the massive screen size. Now, this is on diagonal is close to 65 inch, it's 64 point something. It's almost 65 inch TV. It's massive. The screen size is really big, so big that when somebody comes to my house, the first thing they look at is the TV, because this perhaps is the biggest object in this particular living room. And this massive screen size gives you a beautiful view of movies and TV shows and whatnot that you can see in this particular TV. So one of the most important aspect of this TV is the screen size. And please understand, the LeEco TV comes in various sizes. You have a 55 inch and you have a 65 inch. And there's one more that is 65 inch 3D TV. But I don't go for 3D TVs. 3D on a television is not that much popular, and it doesn't work that way. You got to wear clunky glasses, and there are many people viewing. It's going to be a big pain. Therefore, this is just the Super3 X65, not the 3D version. And I'm only going to review this particular product. I'm not talking about the 55 inch. And the 65 inch, the reason I feel this TV really works is because of the massive screen size. And the massive screen size gives you the kind of feeling that you probably want in a home theater system. So if you want a complete home theater system, you got to have a big screen size. But of course, having said that, you got to have that kind of a living room where such a big size really works for you. So you got to check out whether your distance, the distance of viewing, that is supposed to be 9 to 11 feet. But I think in most of the living rooms, that particular distance is achieved. And I sit right now where the camera is there. So there's not much of a problem in terms of the viewing distance. So the massive screen size, that's point number one. The second point is it's a 4K Ultra HD display. And you can see it's 8.29 million pixels, and this is the resolution, 3820 into 2160. This is 4 times an HD TV. That means the resolution here is 4 times, 4K, 4 times the HD. For example, I'll give you a perspective. If you were to watch a video here of 720p resolution, it will occupy, and full resolution without, pulling the size up. You can view any kind of a resolution on this big TV. But if you want to watch it in the native resolution, the resolution where you get the best view, the best resolution available, a 720p would occupy about 16% of this TV. Now you can imagine what 16% looks like. An HD, a full HD, would occupy 1/4 of this TV in its native resolution. And here you can watch something which is 4 times that. So this complete TV, this is a 4K Ultra HD display, and this is the future of all TVs. If you want to buy a TV that should not become redundant in the next 5 to 10 years, 4K is the way to go. Obviously, slowly after 4K, you're going to have 5K and 6K, but 4K really is the future. So 4K resolution, high resolution TV, the clarity is great. Each and every movie or TV show that you watch is amazing on this particular TV. The third point is the smallest bezel. It's 13 mm. Now look at the bezel here. If you look at the bezel here, it is so thin. This is just 13 millimeter bezel. It is almost rimless. And this is perhaps the future. In fact, if you watch a TV with thick bezels, even though the size may be big, it doesn't give you that kind of a feel because you can see the bezel everywhere. Here it is almost rimless. And now that you have even mobile phones in which the bezel is becoming smaller. In fact, if you look at the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, they don't have any bezel on the sides. It's curved screen. So you can slowly and slowly develop a screen that perhaps reaches up to the edge of this TV. And it's not going to take a long time for them to develop that. They've done it on mobile phones. It just takes a while for them to develop an LED panel like this. It's an LED TV. Now it reaches up to, so the bezel here is very, very thin, and that gives you a great feeling. In fact, if you can see this particular screen right now, you'll notice it's amazing. The next point is thin, how thin it is. Now here, I'm going to show you the view from the side, and we are going to figure out how this particular TV is thin and how is it thick and thin. So we need to see the thickness of this TV because that is amazing. It is 10.9 mm. It is almost like the finger. So let's understand that part. This is the side view of the TV. As you can notice, just look how thin it is. It is almost, if I were to keep my finger here, my finger in fact is thicker than this. It's 10.9 mm. And it's thin up to the top, and there is a slight thickness at the bottom. In fact, if you look at the back, more than almost 60% of the TV is thin, and it's a small portion, 40%, which is thick, where the main thing resides. The CPU, the RAM, and every other electronic stuff here. And you get the buttons on the left side of the TV. This is the left side of the TV. If I can just zoom in a bit. And in case something happens to your remote, something goes wrong, battery is not working or something happens, at least you can come and use these buttons. But of course, it's going to be a real pain to change the volume and change the channels every time. But then that's what you got to do. But then it is easily accessible. So this is the left part of the TV. All right. Now coming back to the TV panel now. The next important part about this TV to understand is that it's a smart TV. It's going to run Android OS 5. A smart TV is something where you can access the internet, you can go through websites, you can browse the websites, you have a lot of apps, and since it is Android, you get Android type of apps in this TV. And I'm going to show you the home screen of this, and you'll understand that in a bit. This is the remote, by the way. This is the remote. And I'm just going to press home here, and you will notice that this is the interface. This is the home screen. And you can see apps here, just like Android. And I'm using Share It, I got MyCloud, I got iCam, Reflector, Tornado, Plex works in this. You got TeamViewer, and I've got Netflix here. So, and YouTube, Skype, and you got browsers. I've got Chrome and Firefox. So this is an Android smart TV. And therefore, it behaves just like a giant tablet. And of course, there are certain limitations to this, which I'll talk about when we talk about the cons, the problems that you have in this particular TV. But right now, as you can notice, it works very well. You can browse the net. Let me show you. Let me open Chrome. And it's showing me, and you have an air remote on this. This is my Gmail. And this is YouTube opening a particular video. So this is the YouTube. And this YouTube that I'm using is in the browser. This is not the YouTube app that is present here. This is based on the browser. And you can go up and down using this mouse. This air mouse that comes along with it, and very easy to use. All right. So now let's get back to our presentation. And I'm going to show you the connectivity in a short while. So it's a smart TV, runs Android OS 5. The next important point about this TV is it has multiple ports. And I'm going to show you all the ports. It's got two USB ports, one USB 3 and one USB 2. It's got three HDMI ports, and it's got one AV port, the normal AV port, where you use the set-top box with the three cables, red, yellow and white. It has got one RF input and one optical output rather, for your music system. It also has VGA connectivity, so you can connect using a VGA cable. It has got an SD card slot, and it also has a connectivity to the net through the Ethernet. So you can put an Ethernet cable, which I've done in fact. I've connected my router to this TV. That's why I keep the router very close to the TV. I connect it through the Ethernet port. Ethernet works better. So I'm just going to show you the particular ports, and I'm going to show you where they are located. Alright, here we go. So these are the ports that you can see on the right side of the panel. If you remember, the left side had the had the buttons for control. Here you notice two USB ports. This is the USB 3 port. This is the USB 2.0 port, and there are two HDMI ports on the side. And there are certain other ports which are right at the back bottom. If you notice, there is a cable running here. I hope you can see that. There's a cable running here. There are certain ports at the bottom. There is one HDMI port here. You got the VGA port here. You got the Ethernet port here. You got the RF and the AV port here. So you have ports at the bottom also. Let me see if I can show you that. Perhaps you'll be able to see the ports now. I'm not sure about the lighting, so you got to forgive me for that. So these are the ports at the bottom. Alright, so let's come back to this. So I showed you the ports now, and right now I've connected my laptop. In fact, the presentation is happening in the laptop, and I've mirrored that using the HDMI port. So one of the HDMI ports is being connected here. The other HDMI port I have connected to this Android TV box, and I'll tell you why I got this. And the third HDMI port, I've used all the three HDMI ports. The third HDMI port goes into my Tata Sky. So remember, this is a 4K TV, so it is very essential to use only HD TV box. Do not use the normal analog TV box. It's not going to work. The reason is, you can see all these shows here. The only issue will be the resolution. It will pixelate. The clarity won't be there because that comes at a very low resolution, and the TV has to pull this up to this particular size. So all TVs which are non-HD TVs, they generally come in smaller sizes, and for a 4K kind of a TV, you need the minimum of HD resolution. So please ensure that whenever you get a set-top box with this TV, make it an HD box. The next point that I want to talk about is a wireless connectivity. This also has Wi-Fi built into it, 2.4 gigahertz. Unfortunately, it's not a dual band. It's only a single band of 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. It also has Bluetooth connectivity. So one of the best ways of handling this TV is having a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, and I use that. In fact, I'm using this Bluetooth keyboard with a trackpad on my laptop. So if I try to work this out, yeah, so it's working now. So you can see the mouse moving. There is a trackpad on this. There's a Bluetooth keyboard on this, and this I've connected to my laptop because I use my laptop. A lot of work I do in my laptop using this TV as my monitor. So you get such a giant screen, and you got a mouse and a keyboard here, so it works quite well. You can connect this to the TV also, so if you want to work with this, but the remote is pretty good. It's a very decent kind of a remote, and only problem happens is when you type. But the air mouse on this is very good. If you can just see, this is the air mouse. You can click, you can very easily move it around the screen. It's very responsive. It works pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with this remote. This remote works for me a lot. The next point that I want to talk about is the aesthetic construction. Now look at the stand. This is one of the most unique stands that you'll find ever in any TV. You look at Samsung, you look at Sony, they have standard stands. This is called a clouds kind of a stand. So wave cloud kind of a stand. And this comes separately in a separate package. and it looks so beautiful. It looks so stunning. In fact, that is the main reason why I built this cabinet. There were two reasons why I'm not wall mounting this. One reason is accessing ports at the back becomes a little tedious if it is put on the wall. And of course, one can say that, you can pre-install all the cables and then put it in the wall. But the problem is if some cable goes, if it doesn't work, something goes wrong with the cable, it is very difficult to replace it. So I wanted to access all the ports to the best of my ability, and that is why I did not wall mount it. And the second thing was, this stand was so gorgeous looking, I wanted it to be visible. I wanted it to be there. So in fact, I got this cabinet built specifically for this TV after taking its dimensions. And the most important part, yes, the price part. How much do you pay for a 65-inch 4K TV? Now remember, if you look at Sony, if you just go and check out Sony, 4K, 65-inch, 3.5 lakhs INR. You look at Samsung, it's going to be around 3.2 lakh rupees INR. If you look at the LG, it's going to be close to 3.15 and 3.2 lakh rupees. This thing costs only 91,000. This LeEco TV is manufactured by a Chinese company, but then the construction is beautiful. It's amazing. It works so well. So unlike other Chinese products which seem to work for a very short duration, this has, in fact, they have given a warranty for this panel for 3 years. So in 3 years, if anything goes wrong with the panel, the display panel, they will replace it for free. So this is the price, 91,000. It's available in Flipkart. The 65-inch right now is unavailable because it's sold out, but it's going to be coming back very soon. The 55-inch TV is also amazing. The price is 58,000. It's almost 1 inch per 1,000 rupees. So you will never get a 55-inch TV for 58,000 rupees. And this is 65-inch and this costs only 91,000 rupees. It's value for money. In fact, if you were to buy a Sony 4K 65-inch, I would suggest buy this and put 4 of these in different rooms. It will cost you the same. You can buy 4 TVs of this kind. So, and that too, it's a gorgeous display. It's beautiful. It's not something that looks cheap. Now let's look at the cons, the problems that you will encounter with this TV. One of the biggest problems that I've noticed is the fact that the Android is tweaked. It's not a native Android app. It's not the kind of Android app that you'll find in a smartphone or a Android tablet, because this does not have a Google Play Store and you can't install it. Unfortunately, the way they manufactured it is they've basically used Android and interface there with their own UI. So it's not a native Android app. You will find there is no Google Play Store, though they have their own Play Store. I'll show you that. And this is the store that they have. Not very many apps in this. It's called LETV Store, but there are not very many apps in this. If you look at the top of the charts, you get these, and you really don't get a good amount of apps here. In fact, even the YouTube app, I want to show you the YouTube app. You will have a problem with the YouTube app. In the YouTube app, you can't sign in. You can't sign in with your Google account because because this does not work with Google. And so this is an Android app where you cannot sign in, but you can watch. You can search and you can watch. I'll show you one of my own videos where I can also show you the audio. And so
hi everyone, this is Kalyan Kumar. With
the sound, of course, is coming from my music system.
Today is the turn of the alphabet B, and we start with Bear, Vinegar.
So you can watch YouTube videos and look at the gorgeous display. Look at this display. I mean, this is amazing. Let me show you something else. But here I'm going to mute the volume because I don't want any copyright violation here happening. So let me switch off my music system and I don't know why the phone is ringing. So this is a YouTube video. This is an HD video on YouTube, and you can look at how gorgeous the display is. This is how you watch YouTube. I mean, just imagine 65-inch 4K display. You have a HD TV here. I mean, HD resolution coming in. Even HD can be watched pretty nicely in this. So I'll stop it here. And so this UI is an issue. It's a problem because it's not the native Android thing. But there is a way out for this. And that is if you install what is known as an AIO downloader. Now, this app helps you download a lot of apps which are not available in the App Store of this particular thing. And you can sideload apps as well. So this will help you. I've installed my Netflix and most of the apps here, Plex and everything, I've downloaded using AIO downloader. It's a free downloader. It helps you download many apps which otherwise could be even paid. It installs them for free. All right. So let's go back to the cons. So one of the biggest cons in this is this. And that is why, in fact, let me also show you now. That is why I've got this Android TV box. Now, in this Android TV box, what happens is I've connected that in my second HDMI port. Second HDMI port here. And it is going to take, okay, I've switched it off, I guess. So this is the Android TV box. It's the MX Q TV box. And let me go to the home screen. All right. So this is the Android TV box that I was talking about. This is the UI. I connected that into my second HDMI port. And you can notice it is very similar to the normal Android phones and Android tablets that you have. You can see all the apps here. These are native apps, and you can see the Google Play Store. So the reason I had this was because those apps which need Google Play Store and the Google Play services, you can only do it in this. And this has multiple, it has got 3 USB ports, and there are many different boxes available. This is not an actual review of the box. I just wanted to show you that it's possible to connect this. And here the YouTube that you will see would be the normal YouTube that you would expect. So that's, and of course Netflix and everything works well. And so this is the Android TV box that I've attached to this TV. So it makes it even more smarter. The second con that I have is that it is supposed to come with a gesture controlled camera. It has an app for gesture controlled camera. But the problem is it's not available in India. I tried contacting the customer care. In fact, they could not understand what I was talking about. It took them a while to answer that question. And finally, I realized it's only available in China, not available in India. So what I've done is I've connected a normal webcam here, a Logitech webcam, and I'll show you how it works. It's a very simple camera. It's not HD. So there's a camera app here, and you can notice the camera. This is the back side of my, I can take an image in this. I've taken an image, and this is how it comes up. This is the entire house at the back. So, and so it does not have the gesture controlled camera, which I really wanted, because, you know, with a gesture controlled camera, you can actually use gestures to increase volume, decrease volume, change channels, etc. So it really works well. And the next problem that I've been having with this particular TV is the boot time. The boot time is very large. It's 30 seconds. And I'll show you how it boots. I'm going to switch it off. And now I'm going to switch it on. See how long it's going to take. It's going to take a lot of time in booting, in starting. First it shows this, and then there is this particular initialization video. It's a 4K, by the way. This particular is a 4K video, and that is how much time it takes. It's close to 30 seconds it takes to boot, and that would probably be a little bit of a downer if you could, if they could have done it a little better than this. But then I guess you have got so many apps, and it's an Android thing. It's going to take a while for it to load and boot up. It's got a 16 GB of RAM, which is pretty good. 16 GB of memory, the hard drive memory, and about 3 GB of RAM. Unfortunately, you cannot load your apps in the SD card. You cannot load your apps in any flash drive. You got to load the apps in the hard drive of this particular TV. So that's an issue. And the last con that I have found, the last problem that I have found in this particular TV is the fact that the 4K content is not easily available. It's not only for this particular TV, it's valid for all 4K TVs. There is no good 4K content available. In fact, Tata Sky, to which I have subscribed the HD set-top box, has a 4K set-top box, but they have only one channel which works on 4K. So it's going to take a while for film producers to make a 4K film. It's going to take a while for 4K cameras to come down in price, because if you want to have a 4K handycam right now, it costs more than 1.2 lakhs, 1.3 lakhs, in fact up to 1.5 lakh Indian rupees. So it's going to take a while for 4K to develop, but this is the future. So within the span of, I guess, 5 to 6 years, you'll find more and more 4K content. In fact, in case you have a 4K TV, you can go to YouTube, and there are a lot of 4K videos which these particular, especially Sony, has put up for you to be able to view on a 4K TV. So this is my review of this product, and the final take, it's worth it. You must go for it. In case you have the enough space, you don't need money more than 90,000, and you can get a 65-inch of 4K TV. So my particular suggestion is, if you want a TV, a huge TV, and for a very small price, and that was smart TV with multiple connectivity, go for LeEco TV. I hope this video helps you in some way in understanding how this particular TV works. Thank you for watching.